Good evening. Good evening to every dignitaries present here, our respected speaker, and my dear students. As we all know, Indian higher education system is considered as one of the largest in the world in terms of numbers of higher education institutes, HEIs, and annual enrollment of huge number of students. When India aspires to become 5 trillion GDP economy by 2024, it is very important to achieve excellency in both quantitative and qualitative growth of education system by making it globally relevant, competitive, and industry fit, while simultaneously focusing on self-employment through sheer emphasis on innovation, skills, and entrepreneurship among students and faculty. Institutions Innovation Council (BIT) has joined in this venture of Government of India to develop the entrepreneurship culture among the students and faculties. Today, we have arranged this webinar on the topic Achieving Problem Solution Fit and Product Market Fit, which will surely help us to understand the practical and real-life market scenarios. A warm welcome to all of you in this webinar. Thank you.
A very good evening to respected faculty members and all the fellow friends present in the webinar. As we know, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, Government of India is making every possible effort to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship, and also to inspire and nurture young students to work with new ideas and transfer them into prototypes while they are in formative years. So, Institutional Innovation Council of BIT is organizing a session on achieving problem solution fit and product market fit by our guest speaker, Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti sir. So, thereby I, Sayam Maiti of CSC first year, would like to request Professor Arpita Chakraborti ma'am, President of Institutional Innovation Council 4.0 of BIT, to share her valuable words. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shyam. Very good evening to one and all present over this Fizzy Digital System. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you all in today's webinar. Yes, as you conducted by Institutions Innovation Council. As you know, it's a joint initiative by Ministry of Education and AICT to foster the culture of innovation, startup, and entrepreneurship amongst the students. And in light of this, we the BIT are also we are spreading the same vibe among the students by organizing several workshops, seminars, and competitions throughout the year. Yes, students, this is the time when you have to think out of the box, because if you always do what you always did, then you'll always get what you always got. So, but in the real time problem, we have to come forward with the new problem solving skills, which are the most demanding things. We have to put our India in the better position in the global index ranking. And from the last year's ranking, this year's ranking is better. It's because of you only, for the youth or only, they are coming up with the new ideas and innovations. So it's again a request for all of you to learn to come up the new ideas for the coming days. And today we are very much eager to hear from our eminent speaker, Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti. And so without delaying further, we would come to that session. Thank you very much and welcome you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Arpita, and thank you for the warm welcome. So today, is a very interesting topic that I've been asked to speak on, which is problem solution fit and product market fit. Okay, so obviously this will be in context with software because that's where I am from. That's the industry I represent, software.
Excuse
and a
me,
little bit,
sir.
yeah.
Sir, excuse me. I would like to interrupt you because I would like to introduce you with other students first. Anushka, you are there. Please introduce her with the students. Sir, she will take only a few minutes to introduce
Sure,
you,
sure,
sir.
sure, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Orpita Chakraborti, Madam, the President of Institution Innovation Council, BIT. Institution Innovation Council, Bengal Institute of Technology is organizing a webinar on the topic of Achieving Problem Solution Fit, Product Market Fit. On this honor, myself Anushka Mukherjee from first year CCA of BIT is going to introduce today's guest speaker, Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti. Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti has been a software as a service marketing leader with 20 plus years experience in heading global marketing functions, both for startups and large IT MNCs. He also brings unique insights to the analyst relation function as he have been an analyst at Gartner as well as managed the AR function in his capacity as a marketing head. As a marketing leader, over the last 10 years, he has driven growth marketing, product marketing, and business development functions, managing large globally diverse teams and multi-million budgets. He has extensive experience in launching SaaS products in international markets, setting up and growing marketing teams, and implementing complete marketing tech stacks for automating marketing operations. So, highly welcoming Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti. Sir, we are eagerly waiting to hear some motivational speech from you.
Okay, thank you, Anushka, and thank you, Arpita, for this lovely introduction. A little bit about myself over and above what you must mentioned. My name is Diptarup Chakraborti. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm active there. We can connect and keep in touch. It's always great to share ideas with students because you are in touch with what is happening in the world of theory, and we have lost touch with that, in the last 20 years, right? So some of the subjects that you are studying now is again coming back from what we were studying earlier. Okay, so thank you again for having me. And the topic and discussion is problem solution fit and product market fit. Okay, so let's first understand understand this concept of problem solution fit. Okay, see what happens is, and I'm talking in terms of software as a service. What happens is any software which is developed, and since most of you, I think, are computer science students, any software which is developed to meet a particular or solve a particular problem that the organization has, okay, that the function has, okay. It is a problem. Now that product can solve multiple problems, not just one. But when you talk in terms of marketing, usually you pick up one problem and you highlight that, okay. Let me first give an example from consumer marketing because that will help you understand. All refrigerators, the refrigerator that you have, fridge that you have at home, it has a product ingredient called PUF or polyurethane foam. What does it do? It keeps the coolness inside the refrigerator so that product remain cold and frozen and hence fresh. If there was no PUF, right, refrigerators or air conditioning devices would not be able to make it remain cold, right? But guess what? Every refrigerator has to have PUF. Only one company, long time back, much before perhaps you were even born, took PUF or puff and highlighted it as if it's the only refrigerator in the world which has puff, right? It made it a big statement, though all refrigerators has it. So it has a problem of keeping refrigerators cold, but they decided to take that problem and that solution only and highlight that into the market. Let's take the example closer to home. Okay, we all use Microsoft Excel, you all use Microsoft Word, you all use Microsoft PowerPoint. I don't think anybody in today's day and age do not know how to use these products. Now let's understand what was the problem that Word was trying to solve before Word came into the picture. What was the problem that Excel was trying to solve before Excel came into the picture? And what was the problem that PowerPoint was trying to solve before PowerPoint came into the picture? Remember, again, this was a time perhaps before you were born. How was presentations done? used to have overhead projectors, used to have these films, and you used to write on them with markers. And that used to be projected on screen. It used to be handwriting. Sometimes you used specialized printers to print something on that. It used to be an extremely time-consuming process. And once you wrote something, you couldn't edit it because it was indelible ink. Right? So a lot of effort had to be put into making a projector sheet ready. Now, if you want to make it more professional, you used to make of that slides, as in those projector slides, small little film size 35mm slides used to be made, and that used to be projected. Imagine the time that used to take. I will give a small example which happened in my career. We were making a presentation in Kolkata for Excite Battery, and that carousel, and unfortunately I cannot show what it is. It's a carousel. You press a button and the slide will change. You press a button and the slide will change. Right? We had put the slides in such a way that when you projected, the entire logo of Excite Battery would come. Those days, what was the logo of Excite Battery? It was a cat going through 9, because they say that cat has 9 lives. That was the logo, right? And just about 15-20 minutes before the presentation, the carousel fell off and all the slides fell down. So we took each and every slide, looked it up against the tube light, and this I'm talking about in late 90s, mind you, late 90s to early 2000, 20 years back. So you used to take the slide and look it up against the light and see which was it. And when we put it back, we thought it was perfect, but when we projected, it was totally bad, totally awry. So obviously the presentation did not go well. That was the problem. PowerPoint, now you can have whatever you want to do, type it out, rewrite, point, give animation, everything. Doing that 20 years back was well nigh impossible. That is the problem that PowerPoint is solving, making it more convenient. Apart from a lot of things that PowerPoint is solving. What is Excel solving? You can have data, report data. Earlier, how it used to be, you had to have multiple sheets, put it up, go through each one of them, write it down in hand. Excel sheet does all the computation for you immediately. So that is what is a problem, and the solution is coming through a problem solution fit. Okay, so that is the one. Okay, so okay, that's the second. That's a problem solution fit. Now let's take closer home to what you and me are having, right? I'm sorry, I will give an example from something I'm sure you all know. Let's take Tinder. Okay, I'm sure all of you are use Tinder or heard of Tinder, and and want to be on Tinder. Now, what is Tinder? Tinder is a dating app, we all know. What is the problem that it is solving? You and me are unable to meet people, either because of pandemic, you're not going to college, you're not going to meet friends and all that stuff. So how do you meet people? Where do you get the chance to meet people? Tinder allows you a platform where people like you congregate, people of the opposite sex congregate, and you can match and you can meet. That's a problem. The problem is inability to meet anybody, and the solution is a platform like Tinder. And you have various ways to prevent misuse and maluse. That is a problem and a problem solution fit, right? So every product has to solve a particular problem, or what we call as a pain point of the person. Without that, product will never be accepted. Let's take this particular product, Zoom, the one which you are using right now. 2 years back, if I was giving this presentation, I would have come down to Haldia, wherever your institution is, and given it face to face in front of the class. Today, I am sitting in front of you. All of you are here, more than 113 people at different locations across the country. Some of you might not be even in the country, but hearing me. So Zoom is solving a problem of getting people together. and allowing me to make this conference without having any problem in the content dissemination. You can understand me as well as you would have understood if I was present in front of the class. So that is a problem solution fit. Now I want to have two, three points I want to mention over here. A product can solve multiple problems, not just one. Example, you have a attendance system that is there in your institute. It can take attendance. It can send alerts. It can find out whoever is not getting 75% attendance. These are different problems which the product is solving. But as a product manager, as a marketing manager, you have to take one problem, not all. You have to take one problem and highlight that, because that resonates most with the user community. And any other problem that is there are beneficial, but people are not buying because of that particular problem that you're solving. People are buying that one particular problem. Let's take an example of a product that you guys use regularly. Let's take Gmail. Gmail is an email software. You use Gmail to send emails. That is the main problem. But it allows you to store. It allows you to chat. It allows you to have now even Google Meets. It has multiple problems, but you are using Gmail only for emails. Primarily, if tomorrow email is taken away from Gmail, you will stop using Gmail. Let's take your smartphone. Now, how many problems does the smartphone solve? It allows you to make a phone call. It allows you to do WhatsApp. It allows you to do a camera. It allows you to do QR code to pay money. So many things. But the main purpose of a camera, in fact, for you, the main purpose of your phone is the camera, not even phone. How many times do you make phone calls? You don't make phone calls anymore. So the main problem is camera. That's why you check 15 megapixel, 20 megapixel, 25 megapixel. That is most important. You're not that bad about the voice quality or battery life and all that stuff. You're not that bothered. You're more bothered about the camera quality, because taking selfies for you is very important, right? Okay. Now comes the next statement, and okay, so next thing comes up for me is the product market fit. Now, this is an interesting and an exciting challenge for us that we need to do. What is a product market fit? Okay, now, why does this concept of product market fit arise? Okay, why are we talking about product market fit? Okay, see, the ultimate test of a product being fit in the market, and I'm repeating it, please emphasize on these words. The ultimate test of a product being fit for the market is customers willing to pay for the product. Repeat, customers willing to pay for the product. You might have the best product out there, best design, best this, best that. If customers are not willing to pay, your product is not fit. Sometimes you don't even know whether the product is fit or not till you go into the market and try to sell. Sometimes the product is fit much more than what you expect it to be. The demand is much more than what you thought it would be, because it is solving a problem which was latent, which was not apparent, it was latent, right? So the product market fit comes from the idea that it has a product is made up of three things. One is UX, user experience. One is feature set, and one is the value proposition. Now let's understand each one of them. User experience, feature set, value proposition, right? UX, okay, let's understand a product. Let's take Gmail, a product that you all use, right? Or let's take Google Drive, the product that we all use, right? Let's take Gmail first. What is the UX? UX is the look and feel of the product. was very difficult to use. You have to take a lot of time to understand. People like you and me would not adopt Gmail. People like you and me would not adopt Gmail because then you would lose interest. It has to be very easy to adopt, right? Very easy to use. So that is UX, right? Let's take another example of an app that you use. Let's take Uber or Ola. Now, has anyone trained you to use Uber or Ola? Nobody, right? You take the app, you learn on your own and you use it. That is what a user experience is. If the app or the product is not easily learnable, cannot be adopted without a training manual. For example, an iPhone does not come with any training manual. You learn as you go. You learn on your own. They have made it so simple, or they claim that they made it so simple that without any user manual, you can learn about the phone. So UX is a very important part of the product. I've given you example of Ola, Uber. I've given you example of Gmail. Let's take the example of an enterprise software which a business organization uses. Again, let's take the example of your computer science student. At some point of time, you will be using a software called Jira. Jira is a project management software. What does it do? It allows you to write all the product stories, record it so that the engineering team can create a product based on that story. What is the story? If I click on a particular button, it should go here. This is what it should happen. That's the product story. Based on the product story, you will create the engineering drawing and high level architecture and so on and so forth. That's what the software does. It's a project management software, the most used project management software in the world. If you join an organization, if you do your project, chances are that you'll be using Jira, right? So this is an example of a UX UX is the experience. Now, what is the difference between, you must have heard this word called user interface, and you are now hearing this word called user experience. Anybody wants to go? What is the difference between user experience and user? Raise your hands and answer. User experience and user interface. Before I give the answer, anybody wants to go? Anybody wants to answer? What's the difference between user interface and user experience? Okay, Siddhant has raised your hand. Can Siddhant answer, please?
Basically, user experience is the experience when a particular website is developed, and what the customer experience after viewing that website is called user experience. And user interface is what after developing a website, what is viewed by the customer is called user interface.
Okay, good answer, Siddharth. We are very close to it. But whenever you have to give an explanation, you should also give an example, so that Richard Feynman, who was a very famous physics professor, said that if you can't explain it, you can't understand it. Okay, so you should always use examples to explain. So user experience is the feeling, the experience that you have when you click buttons and all that stuff on the way. But the way the buttons are laid out, the design, all that stuff is part of user interface. Okay, user interface leads to user experience, and user interface is part of user experience. So Siddhant was partly right. Okay, now comes the next part of our product is feature set. Remember, I said UX, feature set, value proposition. Again, let's understand Gmail. What are the feature sets of Gmail? It allows you to send emails. It allows you to receive emails. It allows you to store email addresses. It allows you to send calendar invites. It allows you to attend meetings. It allows you to store messages. It allows you to delete messages. These are all, it allows you to block senders. If anybody you don't want to receive anything, it allows you to block them. These are all examples of user interfaces. Okay, so that is user interface. Now that's called feature set. Sorry, feature set. Feature set is a part of the product. And finally, the value proposition. This is important to explain value proposition to you. Should I give a definition? No. Value proposition basically is what does the product mean to the customer? What does the product at its core do for the customer? A Word software at its core allows you to write documents, write and edit documents. At the core, it has lots of other features, but at the core, Word allows you to write and edit documents. That's the value proposition of Word. The value proposition of Microsoft PowerPoint is allows you to create good looking presentations. That's the core of the product. It allows you to embed videos, it allows you to embed audios, it allows you to do animation, but at the core, it allows you to create and good looking presentations. That's the value proposition. At the core, what does the product mean to your user audience? And this is very important, the target audience. Your product means different things to different kinds of target audience. Okay, let's give an example. Okay, an Excel sheet for a business leader is a reporting tool. He uses that to report data to his seniors. For people junior in the rank, it's a data entry tool and data extraction tool and a data presentation tool. So the same software means different things to different people. So when you talk about product market fit, you have to include the value proposition, as well as you have to include the feature set, and you have to include the UX. Now comes the last part, is product market fit. Why is it important? First is, Alex Schultz, who's the Facebook's VP of growth, Facebook, says that the biggest problem he sees facing the company he advises is that they don't have product market fit when they think they do. Imagine a situation when you think the product will sell, but actually it will not sell because you've not done enough research, enough due diligence, enough of that sort. So why is achieving product market fit important? Why do so many venture capital demand evidence of product market fit? And I said earlier, product market fit means, just one sec, I have to take this call. Sorry about that. Okay, okay. Now comes the, where was I? Okay, so about product market fit, right? So the why do we need product fit? But the answer is very simple. Before you develop a product that you confirm enough people are willing to pay for, remember I told you a product market fit is fit only if a customer is willing to pay for the product. So before you develop that, team cannot afford to focus on other important strategic objectives. Impossible. You cannot say that, look, I will get so much revenue, I will enter so many customers, I will enter so many geographies. Those things you cannot do till you know whether the product will sell or not. If you haven't determined that the product is enough to market, to sustain itself and generate revenue, you have to determine that. So product market fit is you determine what is determined. You determine that the product is, there are set of customers who are willing to pay for the problem that you're solving. Remember, a product is going to solve a problem of the customer. Repeat, it is going to solve the problem of the customer. Without that, there is no product. What is a product? Anybody wants to go? What is a product?
From our participants, if anyone wants to ask question, you can unmute yourself or share them through the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, so So, okay, before I proceed, I want to have one more poll. Sorry, I'll have one poll. How do I do the poll? The first poll question is launch. Let me go ahead. Okay. I will end the poll in the next 30 seconds. So please answer the poll as soon as you can. I have only got 35 respondents out of 121. I will end it in a minute. I'll give it one more minute for all of you. Okay. So how is product market fit measured? That's the first thing, right? So I will go with some definition given by a very famous venture capital firm. The right way to measure product market fit is when surveying potential customers or allowing them to test your product, does some segment indicate that they will switch to your product? Which means, supposing you have a product, okay, and it is solving a particular problem, are the customers willing to say that, okay, we will switch from whatever we are using to your product? Because your product might not be new. So are they willing to switch? That's the first test, whether it is fit or not. I am now stopping the poll. If you don't mind, I have got 61 respondents. So the poll goes stop so that I can launch the next poll after some time. Okay, and I will share the results. Now comes the next part of the why or how to measure it. Are some users who have rejected similar products on the market willing to try yours? Supposing there is Tinder, there is Bumble, there is I don't know what others are there in the market. Are people willing to embrace others and giving up Tinder? If the answer is yes, then you have a product market fit. Do users demonstrate an understanding of your product differentiators or unique value propositions? Remember when WhatsApp is a big hit, okay? When WhatsApp became a hit, Airtel came out with this app called Hike. It is still doing well, but nowhere closer to Hike. So are they able to understand the product differentiators? They couldn't. Otherwise, Hike would have been a very, very big hit. So no, so Hike doesn't have a good product market fit. Okay, how do underlying metrics such as retention rates measure up? So what is retention? Retention is basically when you sell to the customer, are they willing to renew the subscription? Say, for example, Ola. Are you willing to come back again and again and use Ola and Uber? If yes, then yes, you are doing right things. Okay, so I will stop the poll and okay. Okay, next, what's the next poll? Next poll. Okay, so now I will go a little further. I have just 10 more minutes for this one. Okay, so now the question you would ask is, how do you, as people and all that stuff, achieve product market fit? What do you do to know that you're going to achieve? Okay, firstly, determine your target customer. Now, let's say you are an engineering college. Imagine you go for, your institute goes and starts marketing to parents of 8th standard students. That won't be a hit, right? Because they're not ready to become engineers as yet. But if you start marketing to people who have just started the 11th standard, then it might be a good hit. Yeah. So target audience has to be understood properly. Otherwise, you will not be able to go ahead and get product market fit. And you identify the underserved needs of the customer. What is this? What is underserved? Okay. One of the underserved needs of users of Excel is ability to use formulas easily. That's underserved. People are not using Excel for that, even though those features are there. What if you come out with a product which does exactly that and it is not very expensive? People will give up Excel and use that product. because people are not using that product over there in Excel. And then you define your value proposition. I told you what is the value proposition. What is the core of the product that it does for the customer? What is at the core what it does? Remember the example I gave for Word, right? What is at the core? What does it do? And then you develop this product and take to the market and see whether it will be accepted by the customers, whether they are willing to pay for the customers. So I will do another poll right now. Please go ahead.
Sir, your mic is muted.
Sorry, I will stop the launch of this poll in the next 10 seconds before I start. Going on, so go ahead. Okay, please start. Okay, now I will speak on the 4 myths and then I will stop the poll. First myth is that a product market fit is always discrete, big bang event. No, it is a lot of research, slow burn, asking questions, getting feedback, deploying the product, knowing whether it is working or not. Only then you can know whether the product market fit or not. Okay, it is patently obvious when you have the product. Absolutely no way. It is not at all obvious. Sometimes you go into a product with a market, then you realize that okay, this is not working. You go with totally something else, totally different. Like what Google was when it started and what Google is today is totally different, right? Once you achieve product market fit, you can lose it. Yes, you can lose it because the change in the target, the nature of the target customer can change. What they want from your product can change. So yes, you can lose it. Once you have product market fit, you don't have to sweat the competition. Absolutely no. Competition will be at your feet. They will learn, they will copy, they will come with a better UI, better UX, and try to beat you at the game. So no, you cannot rest on your laurels. So I'm stopping the poll. I've got 84 respondents. And I will now share the results. The answer was obviously 1, but surprised people did not get it. Customers have to be willing to pay for the product market fit to be there. So with this, I will end my presentation. As I was told to give about 10 minutes for Q&A. So I will open it up for Q&A. I finished about 5 minutes earlier than I thought, but yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience with us. It is a pleasure for us that we got to know so much and got so much inspiration and motivation to this session. Also got to know about how the product marketing fit, product story, value proposition, retention, and the examples works. And so, yeah, I think that we should keep these things in mind for the future. And yeah, these are really very auspicious and valuable things that we should keep in mind. I think every one of our participants should. And so now I would like to ask our participants to share their question by using themselves or by sharing the question to our chat box.
Okay, so this is interesting. So Gmail is a free mailing service. Then how does it make profit? Well, Gmail, first of all, is a product of Google. Google's revenue comes from advertising. Okay, so when you are sending a particular email, Google tracks that, and if you see, you will get some ads based on what emails you have sent, what emails you have received, what you have searched, what have you clicked. All that data is crunched and analyzed, and based on that, you ads are served. These ads are not free; they charge them, and it's a huge revenue business for Google, and that's how they make money and profits. Any other question? Okay. See, a business model of all these free software is the same. WhatsApp, as you know, is owned by Facebook or Meta, as it is known today. The revenue comes from advertising. WhatsApp also has a payment gateway now, so that will also, they will make profits and they will make money out of that. So the revenue comes from advertising. Essentially, it comes from advertising. Either people are using a WhatsApp communities or what places and all that stuff, or they're creating special corporate communities, corporate groups. That's how WhatsApp makes money. Anirban Mukhopadhyay. Okay, next question. Any other question?
If you have any question, you can share them through our chat box or by unmuting them.
Anybody wants to ask any questions? I think Gmail and WhatsApp I've answered. Any question, anything. Anybody else? Any questions? Only 2 questions. Seems like it was not very interesting. Okay, then I don't think there's any more questions. Any more questions? Okay, there's one more question from Mihika Bhattacharjee. Sir, how is it monitored that whether the customers are paying for their own account or using somebody else's? Well, if somebody else is allowing you to use your credit card, say for example, Mihika, you have a friend Arpita, right? If Arpita is giving you the credit card and you are using it, then obviously it is Arpita's money. I'm hoping that you'll pay Arpita back for that. But it is Google or a Facebook or Microsoft tracks it as Mihika has paid for it. It doesn't matter who the credit card belongs to. It doesn't matter who actually made the payment. As long as it's going from your account, it is Mihika who has paid it. Did I answer the question? Thank you, Mihika. Any other questions? Any questions? No question is stupid. No question is foolish. Ask your question. As I said, I am active on LinkedIn. You can connect. We can always interact. I would love to learn from you people. Anybody? Anybody else? Sir, how in Google generates income? I think I answered that question, Siddhant. Satopriya asked the same question. Advertising revenue. Advertising is the revenue. Somebody asked me for my LinkedIn profile. This is my LinkedIn profile. So
Sir, so thank you once again for this amazing session today. So now I would like to call Professor Sudipta Datta sir to hand over the certificate to our guest speaker.
Thank you, sir, for the valuable speech on achieving problem solution fit and product market fit. Please accept a token of appreciation from IICBIT.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sudipta Datta, sir. Now I would like to request Professor Priyali Pradhan ma'am to give the feedback link in the chat. And also, I would like to welcome IIC Vice President Professor Dr. Tapan Kumar Pal sir to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sharon. So on the behalf of IICBIT team, I first want to thanks to today's speaker, Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti, for her valuable thoughts and sharing of different aspect that is very important for any kind of starting of entrepreneurship of startup, because today's market is basically a very important regarding their any kind of problem solutions, and whatever the product that we are launched for new startup or any kind of entrepreneur, they should be market fit. So I think the speaker explained all this aspect very well, and I think the students are benefit a lot of this for awareing how the new kind of entrepreneurship and startup they can launch, and what are the logic behind this. I think this is very helpful for that, and that's why I thank to Mr. Diptarup Chakraborti for her valuable speech. Then I want to thanks our IIC activity team, the IIC activity coordinator, Professor Bulbul Mukherjee, and the other team members, Dr. Sutaparai Misro, Professor Sudipta Datta, Professor Shayanti Sinha, Professor Shubhra Sarkar, Professor Vishwajit Maiti, Professor Priyali Pradhan, and Professor Rajesh Roy. They are doing this kind of webinar very efficiently. And I also thanks to our student IIC team, Shayan Maiti and Anushka Mukherjee, for their active anchoring. And at the last, I want to thank all the listeners or participants who were patiently listening this valuable talk. So in this word, I also again thanks to our guest speaker in this event.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, and have all the best.
Okay, thank you.